I don't even know how I could even begin to describe what the last 12 months has thrown at us. Like, I think probably one thing is just exhausted, absolutely exhausted. Although it's been an awful year, I've witnessed such compassion, and like the bonds that I've made with my colleagues going forward, like we will never forget this year. I never, ever thought that, you know, 6 months later after qualifying, we will be thrown into a global pandemic with the virus that we knew nothing about, and just kind of expected to, you know, just crack on and deal with it.
Do you think this has changed you as a person or as a nurse?
Oh, massively, massively. I think personally, it's just taught me to just be, I know it kind of sounds cliche, but just be kinder to people, because you never, ever know what they're going through. You know, it will change and shape my career for the rest of it.
Working in critical care, losing patients is a regular part of the job. But I would imagine the scale on which you've had to go through that this year, and also perhaps the relationships you might have built with some patients, has that been especially hard?
It has, it really, really has. I think that's probably the hardest thing, seeing all of those people awake and getting to know them, getting to know their families, because they're ringing up, they're FaceTiming, things like that, and then seeing them being put into a coma and then seeing them deteriorate and unfortunately die. It's absolutely horrific.
As a hospital, you've lost colleagues too, haven't you, this year? That must have been hard for the team.
Like, you trust in your PPE and you trust that your PPE is going to protect you. COVID really doesn't discriminate. It will get anyone, and especially your colleagues who are putting themselves at risk on a daily basis. I think it's just heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. I feel like they really did make the ultimate sacrifice. Now that we've kind of got a minute to breathe and a minute to reflect, it's really hitting a lot of people really quite hard, because you all of a sudden you're having to deal with, because you've been so strong for so long, and then now there's a bit of breathing space. You have that time to just kind of, I guess, process everything that's happened in the last 12 months.
Do you think there'll be ways in which this pandemic will change the NHS forever?
There's still a lot of stigma surrounding mental health, and it's, you know, a bit of a taboo subject still, and it shouldn't be, but there is. And I think this last 12 months, people have had to talk to each other and had to talk openly about what they're going through emotionally. And I think, if anything, like that's kind of something positive that the NHS can take away from everything that's happened.